Why Women Deserve Less is an eye-catching title based off a popular meme, but is it something you can take seriously over the course of 100 pages? Well, I gave the book a read to find out. But first let me talk a little bit about the author Myron Gaines. When I first heard about him a few years ago, he was basically an online fitness guru. He would give advice on like diet, workout, that sort of stuff. And from there, he branched out to other areas of men's self-improvement, most notably dating, but also things like finance, business, etc. And yeah, his main claim to fame these days is his Fresh and Fit podcast, in which he will invite panels of women onto the show to discuss the so-called red pill concepts, which often gets kind of antagonistic, and that can be sometimes amusing, sometimes annoying, but the important thing about it is that it leaves these women dropping a lot of candid truths. Now, I don't listen to the podcast all that much these days because, like all red pill content, after a while it just gets kind of repetitive. It's kind of describing what's perceived to be an immutable characteristic of human nature, and so it's not something that's going to change all that much based on who the presenter is or based on any new discoveries or anything like that. So I mean, I guess on some level that means it's successful because they're good at explaining their ideology to the point that you do get to know everything really well. But on the other hand, once you've heard it all before, the entertainment value kind of drops off. So there's not that much value in listening to all this over and over again. But anyway, I do drop in on the show every once in a while, and I have heard Myron say that he wants to write a book called Why Women Deserve Less based on the meme. Now, because it's based on the meme, I wasn't sure if he was just joking or not, but good on him for actually following through, because you often see these internet personalities talking about writing books, but not walking the walk. Now, I got the book on digital format off Amazon. The Amazon summary of the book is surprisingly long, given that the book itself is only 100 pages. And I guess they did have to write something that long to present it as something that could be taken seriously, or at least something that could be used to deflect accusations that this is just some kind of misogynist diatribe that should be pulled for social justice or something like that. But in any case, the book is not that long. It's an easy read. It's written in very casual language. I finished it in 3 days. It's split into 8 chapters, so if you read a chapter a day, you're basically done in a week. The gist of the book, all right. Women demand equality in society at large, while at the same time they will opportunistically and hypocritically demand special treatment whenever equality is inconvenient for them. Now, since equality is basically the only practical way forward in this day and age, when it comes to the special treatments, women deserve less. Now, this is easier said than done because special treatment for women is kind of men's natural instinct, and also it's based on societal practices that were born from those instincts and honed over the course of all of human civilization over thousands of years. So men need to fight their instincts and reject these practices if they don't want to be taken advantage of, either by individual women or by institutions such as governments, corporations, universities, and so on and so forth. In chapter 6 of the book, which I think is really the heart of the book, Myron outlines some broad categories in which women will take advantage of men if men let them. This includes topics such as economic dependence on men, negotiating in bad faith, which in the sense of this book kind of means like dangling sexual attention in front of men in the hopes that they will do stuff for the women when the women have no intention of putting out in the first place. And then finally, victim status and preferential treatment, yet, more ways that women constantly take advantage of men in the modern environments. So who is this book for? To someone who's consumed a lot of red pill content, a lot of this content might seem kind of repetitive or something you've seen on Myron's show or some other content creator's show, and the book doesn't pretend otherwise. It clearly says that it is an introduction to the subject matter and that far more comprehensive books are out there. In fact, it lists a whole bunch of them at the end of the book. I think this book is better suited for someone who sees the title Why Women Deserve Less and rather than immediately agreeing would be confused or perhaps even offended. I also think if you're buying a physical copy, it might make for a funny gift or a funny decoration. But I think the person who would benefit from this book the most is actually Myron himself. And I'm not just talking in terms of book sales, because I'm sure the book sales would be just a drop in the bucket compared to what he makes off his show, but writing a book lets you choose your exact words. And especially on an argumentative show like Myron's, you don't always get to phrase things the exact way you want, and things can be taken out of context or clipped out of context. So writing this book allows Myron to control his own narrative. And I guess there's also the perhaps outdated notion that writing a book confers on you some sense of authority, so he would benefit from that as well. Anyway, to sum it up, I think Why Women Deserve Less is a fun read, it's a good read, but it's not really a must read. Final grade, single plus.